Closed captioning on ABC 21 is made possible by D.O. McComb and Sons.
Right now on ABC 21 News at 6, more troubles. A city councilman is demanding something be done about ambulance response times.
And a tragic end to a story we've covered for a week now. What's next in this investigation? But first, let's talk about the weather. We're seeing, some clouds in the sky, but some blue peeking through here. But we know that is not the case for all of you right now. Thank you for choosing us tonight at 6. I'm Brian McElhat.
And I'm Krista Miller. We are your weather authority. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Matt Leach for a first look at the forecast tonight. Matt.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Three Rivers Festival week if we didn't have some showers and thunderstorms to battle with.
Yep.
But fortunately, the severe weather threat's pretty low. Mostly we're just talking about heavy downpours that would disrupt anything you have planned here over this next week, more than high winds over 60 miles per hour. But let's take a look here at the radar, because these showers will continue to kind of stream north and eastward. We're kind of in a lull right now, unless, of course, you're in Steuben and LaGrange counties, in which case we still have some pretty heavy downpours to work through. But again, we've got a little more out to the south and to the west. That'll bring in some heavier rain. Here's the complex of showers, and I would say thunderstorms, except there really isn't much lightning associated with any of these cells. So mostly it's just kind of a heavy rain threat. And then zooming out, yeah, there's still more rain out to our south and to our west, thanks to an area of low pressure and moving eastward. And as it does so, it's going to push some more showers and thunderstorms our way, mostly impacting northwest Indiana, but we're going to get clipped by some of that too. 81 in Fort Wayne and 81 in Indy, so still pretty mild air mass. We'll see decreasing showers overnight tonight, and then back to rain and some thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. After that, though, drier weather returns, which I'll talk more about in my forecast in about 10 minutes.
Just really disheartening, because we wanted to get justice for this guy and have him have his second chance and his happy ending. But we're not done. Our work is not done. The investigation continues.
Such a sad update on a story that has touched so many of you here in Fort Wayne and many other places too. That severely neglected dog that had been treated at Fort Wayne's Animal Care and Control did not make it.
However, as ABC 21's Corinne Rose explains, the criminal investigation into who starved this dog is in full swing.
This doesn't do anything to our investigation from where we go from here.
But it's not the update leaders at Animal Care and Control wanted to give. For more than a week, the medical team treated a severely emaciated dog who'd been dumped on the city's southeast side, giving him IV fluids, keeping him warm, monitoring him with regular blood samples, and feeding him all that his body could tolerate. Thursday, he stopped eating, and tests showed he wasn't producing red blood cells, so he was given a dog blood transfusion Friday in a last-ditch effort to prop up his failing systems.
They were trying everything they could, and so when that blood transfusion just wasn't getting them the results that they had hoped for, and they were faced with prolonging his life and his suffering, they made the decision that humane euthanasia, he was beyond the point of saving at that point.
The medical team is so distraught about losing him that they had to take a few days off work. Even the shelter's front office staff was emotionally invested because so many people called all day long for updates on the dog's condition. The medical team estimated the pup was 10 months to a year old and had been kept indoors in a crate for months in his own filth. He was too weak to walk. Holly Pasquinelli says it's important to find the person responsible.
Tips are what we need so that we can keep pushing this case forward. This dog was in such bad shape. What do the people in this household look like? Are there children in this household? We know that there's a direct link between animal abuse and neglect and other types of abuse and neglect. So it's the big picture of making sure that everyone who lives under the roof where this dog was is well taken care of and is getting the service that they need.
The person who starved the dog could face up to a level 6 felony, which is punishable by up to 2.5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Corinne Rose, ABC 21.
And just a really difficult story to see. If you know who starved this dog, or if you have other information that could help investigators, call Animal Care and Control. The number is on your screen. It's 260-427-1244. Use option 1.
Well, there are big developments tonight on the future of those federal unemployment benefits at the center of a lawsuit here in Indiana. The State Court of Appeals is ordering Indiana to resume those payments a second ruling now in favor of the plaintiffs in the case. The court today denied a move on behalf of the governor to stay the previous order. And in response, the Department of Workforce Development says it is, quote, working to restart the federal pandemic benefits that are at issue in the lawsuit, end quote. The case itself likely headed to the state Supreme Court.
39 million households will begin seeing tax credit payments this week. It's the first round of the Biden administration's enhanced child tax credits. For families with kids 6 to 17, you'll see up to $250 a month per child. If your kids are under 6, you'll get up to $300 a month. Half of that you can claim while filing income taxes. The other half will be paid to you through monthly installments. We spoke with a Fort Wayne financial advisor about how Hoosier families might use these accelerated payments.
Yeah, saving for your children or putting money in the economy or saving into a retirement account or IRA are all ways in which you can help out the economy. But the main thing is follow the data that you have, do a full financial plan, and try to figure out how those issues may affect you in the near term as well as the long term.
The amount of the credit does go down for people earning more than $112,000 and households making more than $150,000. For families that don't file taxes, the IRS has partnered with nonprofits to reach you and get you your payments.
An ABC 21 recall alert tonight. Trucks made in Fort Wayne may be among the 400,000 that GM is recalling over an airbag issue. Officials say there's a problem with the inflator, which can fail and cause an airbag to deploy for no reason suddenly. The recall is for the 1500, 2500, and 3500 series pickup trucks made between 2015 and 2016. Not all trucks produced during that time are part of the recall. You'll learn more about that. But we do know tonight the Fort Wayne GM plant produces the 1500 model. So far, all 3 reported inflator failures happened when no one was inside the truck. If your truck is part of that recall, expect a notification from GM in the next few weeks. Indiana's Attorney General is suing a group of virtual charter schools, accusing them of defrauding the state of more than $150 million. Todd Rokita says Indiana Virtual School, Indiana Virtual Pathways Academy, Indiana Virtual Education Foundation, and several others misrepresented the number of enrolled students, collectively getting $68 million more than they should have from the state between 2015 and 2019. And on top of that, Rokita wants an additional $85 million reimbursed after the investigation found that the schools used that money on vendors that had common employees or family members.
Parnell Avenue is now closed from Coliseum Boulevard to North Clinton Street. City crews will begin a $1.2 million road improvement project. It includes resurfacing the asphalt, extending the southbound turn lane, adding a sidewalk to the median, and upgrading street lighting. The project was supposed to begin last Monday, but weather pushed construction back a week. Crews should complete their work by December, but the road will be open much sooner than that, in about 45 days.
Well, let's show you today's COVID-19 numbers from the Department of Health. Indiana reports 157 new cases and no new deaths. The number of new COVID tests is dropping as the positivity rate increases. It's now at 3.7%. compared to just 1.9% 3 weeks ago. And as those numbers would suggest, COVID-19 cases, they are rising now in certain hotspots.
Most of the new cases are linked to the now dominant Delta variant, which is twice as transmissible as previous strains. Analysts say a third of new cases in the U.S. come from these 5 states highlighted on this map, where vaccine rates are low. More than 99% of U.S. COVID-19 deaths in June were in unvaccinated people. That's according to the CDC. Pfizer briefed the U.S. government virtually about the potential need for a booster shot. Right now, the CDC maintains a third shot is not needed. What is? First-time vaccinations.
Our vaccines work incredibly well against all the variants, including the Delta variant. If you get vaccinated, you will be protected from dying.
To see a potential third wave is disheartening and it's disappointing because, quite frankly, it's preventable.
According to the CDC, the daily pace of people becoming fully vaccinated has dropped 84% since the mid-April peak. Ambulances running late, too few paramedics, and questions about the future are surrounding TRA.
The issues have become so apparent, in fact, at least one city councilman is all fed up about it. He says he wants answers now. Jeff Newmeyer's live with this one. Jeff.
Yeah, Brian, Chris, the statistics we've obtained suggest delays in getting ambulances to calls for help in the city of Fort Wayne have become a consistent problem since last summer, and that response times are actually getting worse. Now, by contract, ambulances are supposed to arrive on scene to deal with calls for emergency aid within specific designated response times 90% of the time. From August 2020 through May 2021, compliance was achieved one time in 10 months, we found, and in the month of May this year, it dropped down to 76%. The ambulance provider, Patient Care EMS, we're told, is struggling with several factors that are contributing to a shortage of paramedics, including a reduction of hours during the pandemic that may have prompted some staff to look for work elsewhere, then big increases in mandatory overtime for remaining employees to cover things, causing some of them to quit in frustration. The Three Rivers Ambulance Authority has declared an emergency, and for a period of 1 year, will go to a two-tiered system that will direct advanced life support units on life-threatening runs and basic life support units to non-life-threatening calls to make things better. Yale says that's a good first step, but he suggests American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA funds, might be used by Mayor Tom Henry's administration to help give the ambulance provider the ability to hire more staff and address the response time problem.
It is important to bring all of our resources to bear as quickly as possible, and so that needs to be flushed out, because literally every week paramedics are leaving in search of better compensation. The only thing that I'm asking for from the administration is to take aggressive leadership to bring all the parties together and address all of the potential solutions.
Now, the Henry administration says it has helped facilitate meetings in recent weeks already to search for solutions. In a statement, Henry's office emphasized we're not aware of any patient care shortcomings as a result of manpower challenges experienced by TRA. The statement goes on to say, quote, the city's future use of ARPA funds is in the process of being put together. Brian Krista, Councilman Yale, tomorrow night will bring up the ambulance response time issue at council. That's what he says. He would like support to formally invite stakeholders to council to discuss possible solutions publicly. We'll monitor, of course, what happens with this. Back to you guys.
Yeah, this is something that could potentially affect anybody in the city at any time. Jeff, we'll be watching it. Thank you. The Red Cross says it is in desperate need of blood donors now as the organization deals with a severe blood shortage. To keep up with demand, the Red Cross needs to collect more than 1,000 additional blood donations every day. Throughout this month, they're offering several incentives for you to get you in their door. Donors will get a $10 Amazon gift card and be entered to win free gas for a year or a trip to Cedar Point. You can set up an appointment at redcrossblood.org.
Thousands of people are taking to the streets of Cuba at a level not seen in the island nation's history. They say they're protesting the lack of freedoms and a worsening economy. Protesters say they're sick of power outages, scarce medicine and food, and the repression of political activists. Officers arrested some protesters, but they couldn't contain the crowds. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel blames the country's struggles on U.S. sanctions. He's calling on the army and communist supporters to confront demonstrators.
Yesterday's protests weren't peaceful. There was vandalism. They stoned the police force, damaged cars, a behavior that's completely vulgar, completely indecent.
The United States stands firmly with the people of Cuba as they assert their universal rights, and we call on the government of Cuba to refrain from violence, their attempts to silence the voice of the people of Cuba.
Florida's large Cuban-American community held its own protest in solidarity yesterday.
More to come from us tonight. Vintage car drivers showing off their rides while getting a tour of an historic building from the same era.
Also stand tall in the community by sponsoring the Miracle Ride, Indiana Bike Week, and Bean Blossom Biker Fest, as well as the American Legion Riders and Toys for Tots. Call the firm that gives back and arm yourself with the Kelly Law Office's Rider Law Card today.
You are here. You have a bachelor's degree, but your career just isn't what you imagined. Now you can move your career and your life forward with Manchester University's Accelerated BSN Second Degree Program. In only 16 months, you can get your degree and start a fulfilling, in-demand career as a nurse. Classes are held on our Fort Wayne campus, featuring a state-of-the-art simulation lab. The fast track to your new rewarding career starts right here. Apply at manchester.edu/ABSN.
Forever Metal Roofing brings you our exclusive steel shingle roof to Indiana. It's the Forever Steel Fortress, a steel shingle roof. Forever Steel Fortress shingles are made of tough steel metal, making it as durable as a metal roof, but looks like a shingle. Plus, it costs less than a traditional metal roof. Forever Steel Fortress steel shingles come in many colors and styles. And call now through Wednesday to save $1,000 versus a traditional metal roof installation. Plus, get our exclusive Forever Lifetime.
Owners of historic cars got quite a tour in Fort Wayne today. Dozens of vintage car owners visited the Three Rivers water filtration plant. More than 40 of those cars lined the parking lot and alongside the building there. The Vintage Motor Club got to learn all about the history of the plant. They saw how water throughout the city is treated. That building was built in the 1930s, which is around the same time several of their cars were made. Organizers say it was fun to learn about the plant and the cars, too.
You get a whole variety of people that are out here. We've got cars from the 90s. Our oldest is a 2023 Rio, and that gives us a chance then to have a wide spectrum of cars.
All right, organizers say they planned to do this last year, but, you know, the pandemic forced them to cancel.
What does it take to be a zoo veterinarian? The Fort Wayne Children's Zoo will highlight the work of their veterinary staff on Wednesday at a special event from noon to 4. Kids can learn all about how the staff take care of animals. Plus, kids can also bring in their own stuffed animals, and they'll be examined for good health by the vet team.
Got to keep them healthy.
I love that. Zoo Vet Care Day activities are free with paid zoo admission. Coming up next on ABC 21 News at 6, Chief Meteorologist Matt Leach is in with our workweek forecast. Stay with us. Matt, I finally made it to the Three Rivers Festival.
Yeah.
Finally. I mean, I went yesterday. It's only been happening for a couple of days, so I plan to make a few more visits.
You have to.
But I thought it was in the 60s yesterday, so I thought, okay, a good day to go. It was just the humidity that really got me.
Yeah, the 60s in like March and April feels very different than the 60s in July.
It does.
You can still kind of feel it, and the humidity was quite high yesterday. It's going to remain fairly high here the next couple of days, but we're looking at some pretty good festival weather, particularly Wednesday. But even tomorrow, despite a few passing showers, the storms will be pretty good as well. Let's take a look outside. Certainly brighter than yesterday and warmer. Partly to mostly cloudy skies, 81 degrees. Only got up to 70 yesterday. The average high temperature this time of year is about 84 or 85. So we really missed the mark yesterday afternoon. South wind at 7 miles per hour. And to take a look at storm track. Yeah, we're still seeing this system lift north and eastward, bringing in the biggest batch of rain that we're seeing right now out to the west. Nothing severe here. It looks like just some more steady rain. This is associated with an area of low pressure, which is just kind of spinning up some of that rain, that moisture, and even the warmer air, thanks to this warm front associated with it. And it's going to be moving eastward, bringing in that better chance of rain later on this evening and overnight. Right now, just some light to moderate showers in the immediate viewing area, although out to the west, we're looking at some heavier rain showers in Kosciuszko County. But the heavy rain's been kind of a nuisance for some communities like LaGrange County, where about 2 inches of rain fell in less than an hour. Steuben County now, particularly north and west of Angola, looking at a pretty heavy cell as well. But look, you can kind of see just some very localized areas of about 1 to 2 inch rainfall amounts. Everywhere else, generally about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain. But look at Paulding County into Defiance counties, about 1 inch to close to 2 inches there as well. And then farther to the east, closer to 3 inches. So once again, hit and miss for the most part. Heaviest rain to the south, but even locally, we have had some pretty heavy rainfall amounts too. Future track shows that rain showers will still be possible here through, I would say, about 4 or 5 a.m., then turning more widely scattered tomorrow morning. Mostly cloudy, no severe weather to be concerned about tomorrow morning. By the afternoon, we'll see a little clearing, some heating, and therefore the chance for a few scattered showers and thunderstorms as well. Those will be out of here, though, by about 8, 9 p.m. tomorrow, similar to today. And then dry on Wednesday. So tomorrow, again, to recap, in the morning, could see a few scattered showers, better chance of some steadier rain in the afternoon and early evening. Night looks dry, though. And then Wednesday looks like a pretty good day, less than a 20% chance of rain all day long. And then Thursday, we start off with the dry conditions, but then the rain increases by Thursday afternoon with that 60 to 40% chance of rain as the evening progresses. Partly sunny Wednesday, looking good, 85. Scattered showers and thunderstorms Thursday and Friday, and then a drier pattern for the upcoming weekend with highs in the low to mid-80s.
Perfect timing, Matt. Thanks. Coming up on ABC 21 Sports, we check out a new wrestling facility in Fort Wayne and see how its coach is trying to grow the sport in Northeast Indiana.
Throughout Fort Wayne, you'll find passionate communities for many different sports, including wrestling. We recently checked out a new facility hoping to grow that sport in Summit City. This spring, the Fort Wrestling Facility opened up at Gateway Plaza off of Goshen Road. The building features 32 individual wrestling circles, able to accommodate up to 64 wrestlers at a time. Andy Oberlin runs the place with the hope of taking wrestling back to the forefront in Fort Wayne.
Northeast Indiana has fell behind in the last 20-something years. I think the statistic was we won between 1974 and 1994 out of 20 state championships. I think we won 8 of them. We haven't won one since 1994.
Oberlin coaches high school wrestling at Homestead, but he welcomes all competitors of all ages to learn at his facility. Oberlin plans to host practices, clinics, academies, and more, hoping each of his students can benefit from training here.
And I really like doing the youth, get them to love the sport, and then they want to continue it. And if they go continue at their school, great. Like, I just like to see them when they're in high school, and you know, it'd be great when they punch their ticket at semi-state, they just wave to me and say, "Hey, coach." That's it, to be honest with you.
Oberlin hopes his fort can help grow wrestling the way that Spiece and the Parkview Fieldhouse have helped basketball players advance here in Fort Wayne. Another big name from the Fort Wayne high school football scene makes his college decision. Snyder offensive lineman DJ Moore announces his commitment to Indiana. The Panthers senior had gotten a lot of attention on the recruiting trail with offers from Ohio State, Penn State, Purdue, and many others. Time to start thinking about another Kelly Cup. Most members of the championship Comets team have left the city by now, but soon a new roster will come together. Head coach Ben Boudreau says that process pretty much began just a couple of days after that Game 4 victory over South Carolina. The Comets will see some significant turnover on their roster, but Boudreau believes that the Fort Wayne front office can still find the pieces to make another championship run next season.
When you win one, you get hungry and you want to win more than one and show people that it's not a fluke and, you know, prove the naysayers wrong again. And the city of Fort Wayne will always expect a winning franchise, a winning hockey team every single season.
The Comets haven't announced a new contract for Boudreau yet, but the coach says he does expect to return to the Fort Wayne bench in October. And I'm sure there are a lot of Comets fans ready for a repeat season. I know some here might be rooting for Wichita.
Stop. I heard from a viewer who said that she has family in Kansas, so she roots for both as well.
I guess that's an option if you choose to think that way.
We'll be right back.
Shameful.
First round of rain showers moving out of the area, but off to the south and west. There's a little more rain headed tonight into tomorrow morning, and then more scattered storms tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. More on that tonight at 11. We'll see you then.